Hello everyone. First, I'm really thanking everybody who is following my channels that is titled Books Deserve to be Read. And today is my first talk as my first talk is going to be about my best book that I really would like to share with you. The book is titled By. As I said, my first book that I will talk about, and I will give a short summary and brief summary in general, is the Prince Niccolo Machiavelli. In Arabic, we will say Al-Amir Machiavelli. And this book is one of the most famous books and influencing human consciousness, especially when it comes to the political system, administrative, and governance. Despite the reputation of many people in different cultures, especially the principle in and justify the means founded by Machiavelli, which has become synonymous with opportunism throughout the ages, but it remains a human heritage, the most dramatic change in the system of governance and establishment of states. As we know, the book was written in 1530 and its first edition was published in 1532 in the late Middle Ages. Machiavelli was aiming to transfer his political experience in administration and governance to the Prince Lorenzo de' Medici to teach him how to come to power and retain it. The book of the Prince is a study of political jurisprudence. This study was prepared by Machiavelli in 1530 during his stay in the village of St. Andres Birkena after he was deported there as a result of his accusation of the Medici family that he was involved in the Piper Polo Poscoli plot against them. Machiavelli dedicated this book to the family, hoping to restore the post of Secretary of the Republic published in 1532 after his death. His most famous work, through which the word Machiavelli appeared, the end justifies the means. For his first book in 1513, Machiavelli spoke to his friend Francisco Vittori, who spoke in the letter about the roughness of rural life, his satisfaction, I mean dissatisfaction with it, and his achievement of his prince's book. This book can be considered scientific research because it poses all the characteristics of scientific research, but also takes the nature of the media or awareness book. The first edition of the book was published in 1532. It consists of a dedication and 26 chapters of different sizes. The last chapter contains a request for the Medici family to accept the position of the text. Later on, this book was heavily relied upon the European countries in the methods of governance and management, and no one to this day, even critics of the book, to deny the role of Maja in the tips and guidance in the most savvy and political intelligence even today. Some politicians are pursuing these rules and bear fruit as best as possible. The Prince, a book that is not a system of government and politics in the whole world without a doubt. Either to better or worse, this sentence is up to you. And now, let me give you a short overview or a short summary about what the book is talking about. As I know and we know in general, Machiavelli composed The Prince as a practical guide for ruling, though some scholars argue that the book was intended as a satire and essentially a guide on how not to rule. This goal is evident from the very beginning. The dedication of the book to Lorenzo de' Medici, the Earl of Florence. The Prince is not particularly theoretical or abstract. Its prose is simple, and its logic straightforward. These traits underscores Machiavelli's desire to provide practical, easily understandable advice. The first two chapters in the book describe the book's scope. The prince is concerned with autocratic regimes, not with republican regimes. The first chapter defines the various types of principalities and princes. In doing so, it constructs an outline for the rest of the book. Chapter 3 comprehensively describes how to maintain composite principalities, that is, principalities that are newly created or annexed from another power, so that the prince is not familiar to the people who he rules. And chapter 3 also introduces the book's main concerns: power politics, warcrafts, and popular goodwill in an encapsulated form. Chapter 5 and 8 constitute the heart of the book. Machiavelli offers practical advice on a variety of matters, including the advantages and disadvantages that attend various roads to power, how to acquire and hold new states, how to deal with internal insurrection, how to make alliances, and how to maintain a strong military. Implicit in these chapters are Machiavelli's views regarding free will, human nature, and ethics, but these ideas do not manifest themselves explicitly as a topic of discussion until later. In another chapter, the following chapters our focuses are focusing on the qualities of the principal himself. Broadly speaking, this discussion is guided by Machiavelli's underlying view that lofty ideals translate into bad government. This premise is especially true with respect to personal virtue. Certain virtues might be admired for their own sake, but for a prince to act in accordance with virtue is often detrimental to the state. Similarly, certain vices might be frowned upon, but vicious actions are sometimes indispensable to the good of the state. Machiavelli combines this line of reasoning with another, the theme that obtaining the goodwill of the populace is the best way to maintain power, thus the appearance of virtue might be more important than true virtue, which may be seen as a liability. The final sections of the Prince link the book to a specific historical context. Italy's descent. Machiavelli sets down his account and explanation of the failure of past Italian rulers and concludes with an impassioned plea to the future rulers to the nation. Machiavelli asserts the belief that only Lorenzo de' Medici, to whom the book is dedicated, can restore Italy's honor and pride. I really hope you to be enjoyed of this giving as a brief summary, and I really would you like to encourage me and support me by liking my video and comment and provide me with any books you want, and I will talk about it later. And thanks for your attention and goodbye.